Hey everybody. On February 26th, I sent Tony a DM asking if he would be interested in coming on for a short interview during my front page stream where I played Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1, 2, 3, 4, Underground, Underground 2, and American Wasteland in one stream on March 23rd, 2025. He said, yeah, that could work. And I followed up with more information, gave him the time and place. And the day of, I wasn't sure if he was going to be able to make it because he was juggling all sorts of other plans and things. But during the stream, he confirmed, hey, I'm online, let's do this. So I've never really interviewed anyone before. And it was definitely tough trying to keep it together, keep things entertaining, keep things moving while playing the game. But yeah, just go easy on me, all right? If you want to watch the full front page stream, there's a link below. You can watch the full 10 hours where I play everything. But that being said, I think it could have gone worse. Yeah, let me know what you think. And if you want to watch the full stream, the link's down below. We released it directly after in March. Oh, and if you like this format, who do you think I should have on next? Should I keep doing this sort of thing? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. And thanks for watching. Hello?
Yo.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey, so I forgot it was Discord. I thought it was on Twitch, so I was just like, why can't I? What is going on?
Yeah, I don't think they support video calls yet.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm not on either one, so.
Dude, it's crazy. Say hi, chat.
Yo, chat.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for coming on, man. I know this is like kind of a little hectic day. I mean, today we're on front page. There's over, I think normally we average like 100, 120 viewers, but there's like over 3,000 people here today, I think.
Well, aren't you the popular one?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, well, when you get put on front page, there's like a couple more people watching. So,
no, congrats. It's amazing.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Yeah, cool. Well, so what's been up? What are you up to today? You having a nice little Sunday or?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a little hectic. To be honest, it's my son's almost birthday, and he's only in town today. So we had to scramble and make plans for a little birthday gathering for my son Spencer, also known as Guppy, out there in the EDM world.
Awesome. Cool. Well, I had some questions for you. I mean, we can kind of cruise through them. Normally, I just play the game and just chat with the guests or whatever, and just improvise, kind of treat it like a podcast, and yeah, just hang. But I guess just to kick us off, what was the experience like when you're shopping around a skate game to developers or publisher? Can you let us in a little bit? Like maybe you saw something you liked or didn't like, or did Activision approach you, or how'd that all go down?
Wow. It started around, I want to say 97. And I was this random PC programmer, developer, said, "Hey, I got a little engine for a game, and I'd love for you to maybe help me pitch it, and we can put your name on it and whatever you want." And what he had was really crude. It was just like this character that would kind of go in and out of bowls, and there was a couple of tricks, but not really anything that significant. But it was something, because like the last game that had been released was Skate or Die for Commodore 64.
I remember.
I'm super old, so I go way back with it. I'm here. I've been here since the first console ever. Okay, that's how old I am. And then so we went and pitched it, and we just came up against so much pushback. I mean, I remember one software company saying, "Skateboarding is not even popular. Why would a skateboarding video game be popular?" And then that kind of just shut it down completely. He got frustrated and basically bailed. But I do remember he told me this one thing that was really poignant at the time. And he said, "Look, I got to go make a living, but I feel like your name is out there in the video game world, and people know you're interested, and that might benefit you later." And I was like, "Yeah, right." After the meetings we had, I'm not going to hold my breath. But less than a year later, Activision called me and they said, "Hey, we'd love for you to come check out this thing we're working on. We heard you want to do a skate game." And I was like, "Yeah." And they go, "Well, we're doing a skate game. It's going to happen, and we'd love your input on it." And so I went up there, and as I famously told the story, they had just finished the game Apocalypse with Bruce Willis.
Mhm.
And so the first time I ever played what became THPS was actually Bruce Willis as a character on a skateboard. Same engine as Apocalypse.
That's so sick.
And it just lent itself really well to skating. And then immediately I was doing kickflips and ollies, and it was just like this very it was if I ever had an epiphany in my life, it was like, oh, this is the game. Like, this is the game that skaters will love. That's all I cared about.
It's just
And I
like,
signed on right away.
yeah, like I'm so curious, like your initial take, like as soon as you picked up the controller, like did they already have like the hold X to crouch and like release to ollie? Like, and that was just because to
Wow.
me that was like the thing that just
I
wrote
think
me
it
in.
did. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I felt like the button layout was already intuitive. So I want to say yes, ollie, and one side was, grab or flip. But only a couple tricks.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's super sick. That's just, I think me and like everyone else in here just like immediately captivated me right away. And oh my God, I just failed. And it just became something that was so fun that we all came to love and enjoy, and just it became so much bigger than skating, right? I mean, can you actually like maybe elaborate? I think I know I've heard the story in so many different ways, but I think right when the game went gold, right? You landed the 900, or was it right before it went gold and they had to?
No, it was the timeline was that, so we were set for a a fall release, and the game by I think by June had already been submitted in what they would hope its final form, but it has to be vetted by the console manufacturers.
Mm-hmm.
So the only difference was that, yeah, that then June 27th was the 99X games, and I made 900 unexpectedly, and then I emailed Joel Jewett, head of Neversoft, the next day, and I was like, hey, I just did this trick, and you guys probably want to add it to the game if it's not too late, which I kind of already felt like it's too late, because I know it's a big no-no to submit a game to the console companies and then pull it back. But apparently they hadn't actually submitted it just yet because they still had other bugs they're working on. And his email to me reply was, way ahead of you, you fucking rule.
That's so sick. That's so they ended up resubmitting, and
So they used the video of me at X Games and animated it.
That's so rad.
And managed to get it in there. I mean, it was, I really didn't expect it, but it was just kind of this perfect storm of timing.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember looking in the back of a magazine, I want to say a Game Informer, because I was into extreme sports and skating growing up, and playing like, Snowboard Kids and 720 and like whatever I can get my hands on. I remember just like looking in the back and seeing like Tony Hawk's Pro Skaters coming out this fall. I was like, okay, I'll keep my eye on that. And then like the Pizza Hut demo just totally smashed everyone's like expectations, and it was just like everyone was addicted to it, at least everyone that I knew, and it was just like it just came out of nowhere.
That was, I would say, the most surprising, effective promotion I've ever seen. Right. Was the Pizza Hut thing. And when they said, you're going to be part of this demo disc, I was just kind of like, oh, that's cool. I don't, obviously I feel like maybe Spyro was in it too.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like, we're so dwarfed by any other title on there that it won't really move the needle. But I hear a lot of people say that, like, we played that demo disc for, like, some people didn't even buy the game, they just stuck with the demo disc.
Yeah, right. That lasted me so long. I remember like taking my entire PS1 over like a friend's house with the demo disc, and that's just like all we did all night. It was just like hit retry with 1 second left, and hit retry, so we didn't have to wait through like the promotional ads at the end. You could just hit retry and not have to like reboot the game or any of that stuff. Yeah, that.
Oh yeah. Wasn't that the hack for Game Boy Golf? You hit you hit a putt, and then you turn it off. It's not aiming the right way, and turn it back on. You get right back where you were.
No, but I'm taking notes, so next time I play. So what would have been considered a success for that back then? Like Tony One, PS1, was it like 40,000 copies sold or 80,000 or something like
Oh,
that?
I really don't know. I mean, honestly, like I just know that when it got released, so right upon before release, Activision offered me a buyout of royalties,
Oh
which
yeah.
was like why would you do? I don't even understand. And I luckily I had just kind of moved into a wave of success that I wasn't worried about paying my mortgage anymore. I mean, that was really just the perfect timing because I was kind of living, paycheck to paycheck at that moment. And then they said, well, we want to offer you this buyout. And it was more money than I ever thought anyone would offer me in my lifetime, obviously. And then, and I just said, no, I want to take a chance. And I believe in this. And if you're excited about it, I'm excited about it. And it got released to really good reviews. And I think within a week of the release, I remember Scott Pease, who was at Neversoft then, called me and said, all right, we're working on a sequel. Like, what do you want to see in the sequel? I was like, wait, what? We're doing another one? It didn't even, it was all just kind of wild dream scenario.
That is insane. Yeah, I remember Scott. We used to share. He used to sit on the other side of the wall from me, like in front of my desk. We were pretty close. He's such an inspiration and such a good guy, and he knows what's up. Yeah, that guy rules.
Oh yeah, I mean, the dream team was him, Dave Stoll, obviously Joel, who was heading the ship, but just was chaos always.
Yeah.
And eventually Will Kasoy, who I worked with at Activision.
Okay, nice. Yeah, that's, I don't know. Could you try and describe Joel to people in chat who may not know the owner of Neversoft?
He was a cowboy.
Okay, fair enough.
In all respects, like when people say like, "Oh, he's a cowboy," because he's wild. Like he was definitely a cowboy, and he dressed the part.
Yeah, he did.
He was always wearing corduroy shorts. I think he always had a cowboy hat, right?
He always had like a trucker hat, the handlebar mustache, and like the fishing vest. Like,
I remember in those days, we would find ourselves in these sort of highfalutin parties and scenarios because there was big success.
mm-hmm.
And at like bars where they weren't letting people in LA and stuff, and he would just roll up in that outfit no matter what.
Dude, yes. Yeah, everywhere we went, every single employee party, Vegas, whatever, he just like, he didn't care. But he's such a homie.
Yeah.
He's really real. He sat in level reviews and gave us his honest feedback, and he was just...
Oh, and to his credit, what did he end up doing when he retired? Bought a ranch.
Yeah.
In Montana.
Yep. Exactly.
Like, he's living the dream.
That's so funny. Yeah, he's a homie. I saw him at the 30-year reunion recently, and he's such like a very personable, humble dude who's just, yeah, like couldn't ask for a better captain, really.
Yeah.
So I asked you this, like, me and you have like, run into each other a few times, and like the first time I feel like I ever got to sit and like chat with you for a bit was like before the Downhill Jam played in San Diego at the Casbah. I think you're still recovering from your injury, and that was a crazy night filled with all sorts of debauchery and fun. And yeah, I'm glad I was there. I'm glad I got to be a part of it. And but one thing,
I think I was like 4 or 5 days out from my second surgery on my leg to reposition it.
Yes, yeah, and I remember you said it like it's putting your shoes on really sucked, which I can imagine. And
yeah, I mean, I was barely able to at that point, but I needed that distraction, so it was a fun night for me.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, but I think one of the things I asked you, and I think it'd be a cool story to share with chat, and maybe you could elaborate on a bit more, because one of the first paying gigs I ever got in video games was I got an email from 900 Films, I think it was. I must have been 14 at the time, asking for, hey, do you have some like combo videos that we could like, we'll give you $100 if you just like give us a capture of like your best combo videos. And I was like, sure. And then I sent them off.
You know what year that was?
Tony 3 was out, so 2001.
Okay, so I bet that was for for Boom Boom Huck Jam, for our intermission, we would show gameplay on the on all the screens.
Yeah, that's what
But
you.
that's what it was for.
Yeah, so I like sent you guys. So what I did. This is such a long convoluted thing, but I ended up getting a VCR with someone with the capture card, like in LA. So I mailed it to LA. My memory card. They took the video, mailed it back to me, and then I mailed it to 900 Films. And then you guys were like, "This is not good quality." So you sent a crew to my house, had an AV crew like record it properly, and then they sent off. I got a $100 check, and that was like the end of it. And then when I chat with you in San Diego, you said there was a whole bit when people were entering the arena, people were sitting down for Boom Boom Huck Jam. They would have the videos playing on the jumbotron, and
Yeah.
and you were sitting disguised in the crowd.
I was sitting in the crowd. Yeah, that was 1 year. I was in disguise, and the whole gag was that everyone's looking for me. You know, all the other riders, the motocross riders, the BMX riders, the skaters. And then I was actually planted in the crowd, like I think I was dressed up as a maintenance dude. But I just feel like my costume was so terrible that people must have figured it out. But usually they didn't, and I would just be sitting there, and then finally I'd be like, "Oh, hey guys, I'm right here," and I'd rip off the whatever this whole costume and come down the. I would come down the stairs in my pads and jump straight on the ramp. It was like.
That's so
Weird.
sick.
It was on immediately.
Just go straight from like electrical engineer to Mick Twist and then half pipe.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean that tour. When I look back on it, it was shocking that we did all of that stuff every night, like 3 to 4 nights a week for 6 weeks at a time. I mean, we were going all out with skating. No one was holding back. And I can't believe that we were able to make it through the whole. I mean, a few people got hurt here and there, and some people were out for a couple shows maybe, but the show went on, and somehow I never got hurt badly enough to miss a show.
That's great. I missed that because I think y'all came through Houston, which is where I was living at the time. I never got to make it out, which brings me to my next question. Do you think something like that will ever happen in the near future, like 5 years out? It's like, because I feel like that was like kind of a perfect storm too, right? Like Boom Boom Huck Jam, y'all were living like rock stars at the time, touring around the country.
Yeah, we were close to bringing it back with a partnership through Nitro Circus.
No way.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that COVID just squashed all that. Because we were super close to it.
Freaking COVID, man. Yeah, that was crazy. I remember there was supposed to be like a warehouse party or something of the VVers, and that got squashed too. For the release of 1 and 2. Do you remember any of that?
Yeah, I mean, the greatest thing that never happened was going to be the warehouse party for the release of the 1 and 2 remake.
Yeah.
That is absolutely the event that got away. They were going to rebuild the entire warehouse to scale.
Yeah, and then
for real.
You ended up making like a promo though, like it was like halfway done or something.
Yeah, but that was, I mean, there was some, I don't know how to explain it. Some of the ramps were real, most of them weren't.
Oh, that's
you
most
mean
of them
the
weren't?
commercial that we did with it had the bent rail and it was going over the taxi.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much all that was real, that was skatable. There was a quarter pipe too. The rest was just kind of decoration, but the party that we were supposed to do for the 1 and 2 release before we got hit with a pandemic was going to be like the real warehouse, and then on the little stage area where the bands were going to play, bands that were featured in the game.
Oh my god, I didn't know the bands were going to be that. Dang, what
yeah,
a drag.
you know that place I'm talking, the one like if you're looking from the level as it starts, lower left, that sort of raised area, that was going to be the stage.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have worked out really well. Dang. Well, never say never. Maybe another time.
Well, yeah, but with the next release, we don't have the warehouse, so.
Unless still time. Okay, just kidding. So okay, something I've been like dying to ask you too is during the release of Thug, there was like all sorts of promo and cross promo with like MTV and Spike TV. There was a show called The Ultimate Gamer where you filmed with Adam, me, Wee Man, Mike Vallely. Do you remember that whole filming process one day? And, like, could you maybe shed light on what you remember from that?
So all that stuff is such a blur to me. I don't remember the details. I remember bits and pieces of all those days, but it was whirlwind. It was really like it was all kind of too much to experience for such a short time frame. But I do remember. Did we set up someone with a big game system? Is that what it was?
Yeah, it was like a Pimp My Ride, but it was for their room for like their gaming setup. And so it was this dude. It was a casting call for this dude Adam, who had like clearly never played, or maybe played before, but he played like he had never played before.
Yeah, but see, that's always to my advantage because if it's someone like you, then you literally beat me at my own game. So if it's someone that is kind of okay, like I can take them out.
Yeah, I think you smoked him at the end there, but I think that's one of those, because I appeared on that show and it was a very cringe moment for me because at the very end I tried to shake the dude's hand and he went for the fist bump and then we missed the fist bump and then it got put on national TV and now my community won't stop giving me drive for that. And so we can look back now and laugh, but I cringe at my former self very frequently at that end.
Well, when you're in my position and your name is on a game, there are so many of those moments that are cringeworthy that you just have to tune them all out.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, just get used to it. It's just like, yeah. All right, that's hilarious because no one has heard from Adam since then, and I'm just like sort of curious. It's sort of like you could dig it up and like watch it on YouTube, and there is a clip like Stryker was the host. Do you remember that? Like
Stryker from K-Rock.
Yeah, and like the night
he was awesome because he was a really prominent DJ in LA and a huge CHBS fan.
Oh, awesome! Yeah,
so he would go out of his way to do stuff with the game.
That's awesome because the night before I was playing Burnout 3, which is a PS2 car game, and he was the host or like the narrator in that game, and I played it the night before, and then I show up to work the next day and he's like, "Hey, what's up? I'm Stryker." Like that was a wild time. But I remember you throwing down flawless McTwists in the Neversoft parking lot. That's where there was a half pipe built out there next to Fry's Electronics. And it was just sort of like random.
It's so wild that something like that so monumental happened and I can't remember it. Like that's kind of embarrassing. Dude, I'm so jaded.
I mean, I know you're a busy guy, but if there was one thing that we could like watch together or do together, it would be to get your live reaction of what the Ultimate Gamer comes off across to you like these days. But anyway, that was a big moment because I just moved to LA. I'd been there for like 4 days and then they put me on TV and then I missed the fist bump and it was all just downhill from there. But, anyway, so
there was one TV thing that we did back then. I remember we did Monster Garage.
Okay.
And they took an RV and they gutted it and then made it a half pipe.
Oh yeah.
That was for me. That was the like nightmare fuel because the half pipe itself was tiny, and
they're like
tiny in height, but also in width. So when a ramp's not wide, you're at risk of going off the edge. Well, yes, but then this thing was raised like 5 feet off the ground, so you're not only going off the edge, you're dropping like 5 or 6 feet. That was one of the times where I was like, oh, this is a terrible idea. And it's all on me to like make this look like it's something.
Yeah, they're like, you're a pro. You'll figure it out. You'll be able to throw it down. Like, because who else?
Yeah, and it's moving. So I've never actually ridden a moving ramp. So like one wall is coming at you and the other wall is going away from you. So you're in the air. It's like the theory of relativity doesn't really work. Like the physics of it don't work in your favor. It was hard. Anyway. Sorry, you just give me flashbacks.
Yeah. No, I mean, in Boston in Thug 2, there was Jesse James. I'd never seen the show, and so I don't even know if he's from that same show, but there is a car that's a half pipe, and I think it was sort of supposed to be a shout to that show. But I don't
probably.
That was a time. Early 2000s, shout out.
Shout out to a time period.
Yeah, that when that was like, uh, that was definitely a time, one of the times of all time. Okay, if you could take complete creative control of THPS, is there anything that you would love to see in it? Like, not necessarily a car moving half pipe or like walking or cars, but is there something or like a trick or anything that you feel like has been missing?
Oh, I mean, we've gone so far beyond what is possible in reality. I feel like it's all right there. If anything, I was actually just I was doing a talk recently about, well, my career and stuff, but mostly just focused on gaming. And if there's one thing that I never imagined that would be a byproduct of our game series, is that there's a generation of people that started skating because of the game and didn't understand that the combos they were doing, well, not the ones that you do, but otherwise weren't possible in real life. And so when they started skating, that was the baseline. Flip in to grind, to switch the grind, to flip out, all these things that we only put in there because they were fantastical and fun for skaters because they weren't really based in reality.
Mm-hmm.
And then now, if you're watching the X Games, Olympics, Street League, people are doing these combos. Like I think that's the most fascinating and surprising element to all this, to me, that it actually influenced real life skateboarding to the point where the stuff that people are doing, I mean, Jamie Foy, for example, that none of that would have been considered possible when our game was released.
Yeah, I think about that a lot too. How much it's evolved, and Andy Anderson comes to mind, and I feel like even Rodney Mullen back in the day was
Andy
like,
Anderson is THPS as a real boy.
Yes, exactly. It's amazing because you watch some of those clips and you're like, how? And then even back in the day, Rodney was like, well, okay, well, which came first, like Rodney or THPS? And it's just incredible.
Well, I mean, Rodney's the godfather of all this. So
yeah, respect to that dude. It's such a blessing to watch, and even like watching him on your podcast, like the episode of Hawk vs. Wolf, and then the other one where you had him on with Andy was such a good time.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was by design. We were ending the podcast, and it was like, okay, let's go out on a bang. Who were the top guests, and got the most views and engagement? And it was definitely Rodney and Andy. So it was like, let's get them both on here.
Yeah, what a great pairing, and listening to them talk to each other about how selfless and humble it is, like so refreshing, and what I honestly look for in like the personality of someone to like look up to, and not just their ability, is like couldn't ask for better ambassadors, basically.
Oh yeah, yeah, and no one is on their level of comprehension too of what they're talking about to each other.
Yeah, exactly.
I identify with Rodney because he and I had a wave of success and innovation at the same time, but his approach to skating is just unique in itself, and Andy has a bit of that, so they really identify with each other.
Yeah. How was the you guys filmed your last podcast show recently? Watched it on YouTube. If you haven't, you're listening now, check out Hawk vs. Wolf. You guys seem to make a pretty a pretty heavy dent in the the view counts and the sub counts and everything. And but one thing you guys did at the very last show was film at the Comedy Store in LA on Sunset. Well, how was that?
It was a little bit out there because I wanted to do something for fire relief, and I was raising money for World Central Kitchen, and so we had the opportunity to get the Comedy Store one night, and I was like, all right, let's just make. We had already done the final podcast with Rodney and Andy, and I was like, all right, let's do one last blast. We'll get some A-list comedians and friends and the Bones Brigade, and we'll just blow it out. But it honestly, like, that's more Jason's world is the Comedy Store and comedy shows, and I was a little bit out of my element, so it worked. We raised money, but it wasn't really like the last blast that I imagined.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I thought it was great. It was cool to see a change, and like obviously just like, you know, I think trying something new is obviously got to push, and it was fun. And whoever that dude was who does the Dr. Phil impression, I'm forgetting his name, but he's a riot.
It's not Adam Ray.
Yes, Adam Ray, that dude.
So he was supposed to come as Dr. Phil, but his makeup, the girl that does his makeup, was sick that day, and he was like, I can't have the makeup, so it's just me.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, he's still crushed. That was a great episode.
Yeah.
So, is there any chance of that ever making a return in the future? Is it like a never say never thing, or is it just something that you're like sunsetting and like you did it and now bigger, better things?
Yeah, never say never, but it would have to be just the right scenario. That podcast took up a lot of my time, and it was really hard. And it was hard to get guests to come. I live in San Diego. It was really hard to get big guests to come down to San Diego from LA. So we would have to record in LA if we wanted to get priority guests, and that means that I gotta drive to LA. We gotta record. Gotta drive home. I was the one that was doing all the editing and finding the clips. Not the editing, but more like, oh, let's shorten this, let's move this. But mostly it was whenever someone would bring up some deep cut trick or a movie clip or a skate video, it was up to me to find, and that stuff was that was very taxing.
Oh yeah, editing. Yeah, that's in addition. That's like the off-screen stuff that people don't see. But whenever I do watch it and I see those clips, I'm like, oh my god, thank you to whoever is putting in the legwork, because I don't know what they're referencing right now. So anyway, your work doesn't go unnoticed. So thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Well, okay. So
it was a labor of love. I'm not saying it was like a total bummer, but at some point it really was taking up a lot of my time, and it would eat into my skate time, and that's just where I have to that's a bridge too far if it cut into my skate time.
Totally. Yeah, I totally get it. Well, I mean, so you raise money for could you name the organization again? It was
World
for the
Central Kitchen.
World Central Kitchen. They're providing meals to those affected.
They were providing meals for fire relief. They provide meals all over for disaster relief, but it's just Chef Jose Andres is amazing in terms of his work, especially in like disaster areas, earthquake areas, and I'm just a big fan. So
nice. And we can find them on like Instagram or like
yeah. And I just I love that, like, food is a necessity, obviously, and people. Yes, I understand that when there's a big disaster like that, people need the basics, but food, I think, is paramount to everything. So
for sure. And be able to come out, meet the community, your neighbors, and it's like more than just the food too. And just like my house flooded in Houston, and I met so many neighbors and people in the community that I still hold a strong connection with, where all that stuff is heavy, and when you come together over breaking bread, I think it's huge, and not just getting a meal and figuring out.
I gotta tell you, I didn't realize the gravity of the Houston floods until someone sent a photo of the Houston skate park.
Oh yeah.
And every pool was filled to coping, and I was like, "Oh, that flood was gnarly."
Which was
like that's my gauge.
Was it the Van skate park, or which one was it?
No, that one, that huge one with the big star in the middle. I don't know what it's called.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
It's got a square bowl. It's got a full pipe.
Yeah, and it's like halfway indoor, right?
No.
Oh.
No, I can't. I'm terrible. I don't remember the name of it. It's the biggest one. I think it might be the biggest skate park in the U.S.
Whoa. Okay. I'll have to check that out. But yeah. Anyway,
you're skating all the virtual parks, so
yeah, I know.
It might be hard to keep up.
I mean, true. I mean, actually, my the extent of my skating abilities is like skating to and from school and work every day, and I could ollie pretty well. I basically don't really leave the driveway when it comes to sessioning, or like a parking lot, and just but. Yeah, so that makes sense. Anyway, so what's next for you? I mean, I know you got the skate park project going on, and that's still building parks around the U.S. just for people, communities that want one. And so if anyone's watching, what's that about? How can they get started? Or
it's skatepark.org. It's the skate park project. It's our charity that been doing 23 years now, formerly known as Tony Hawk Foundation. And I mean, we need all the help we can get with advocacy and with fundraising. But if people are looking to get a skate park, you can go to the website and fill out a grant request. There's a lot of criteria in terms of the area, what's the closest part to that area. Uh, is it an underserved community? And it's way more streamlined than it used to be. But we still, we've given away over, I think, $12 million now, and we've helped to fund over 1,000 skate parks.
That's so huge. Awesome, man. That's like, congrats on that. That's like nothing to sneeze at. That's a lot of cheddar.
Yeah, I was definitely. Sorry, I'm getting a cold.
No worries.
It's definitely a labor of love, and like my proudest work. But I had to step back a little bit from the day-to-day operations, because when my name was on it, everyone expected me to be part of every single decision, every grand opening, every shout out. It became a lot. It was really hard to navigate that and to prioritize. And now I feel like they are autonomous. They have a lot of momentum and are doing the best work. So I'm super proud to promote it. I'm super proud to be a board member. I'm just thankful that it's not all on me anymore.
Yeah, makes sense. Delegate and get yourself some more free time to, be with the family, do new things, bigger, better, whatever you got going on. Is there anything else that you could tell us about, like what's next for Tony Hawk?
Oh wow. Well, we have really ramped up, excuse the pun, our team on Birdhouse. So I'm super excited for what's to come in terms of us doing events, what you'll see in competition. We've got I think we have arguably the best transition / ramp team, but now we've added some more street skaters, and I'm super excited because I feel like we're back to our roots with Birdhouse. And we've got the remake coming in July, which I'm sure that everyone wants to know about, but I can't give much information yet. But I'm super proud of it. It is amazing, and I'll have to get your hands on it. You'll have to come to my house, and we won't tell Activision.
Okay. Yeah, say no more. All right, you guys all heard that, right? Write it down. Cool, man. Well, awesome, man. I don't want to take any more of your time. I really, really appreciate you coming on, just hanging out. It's nice to catch up and just, man, hang out for a bit. Happy birthday to, who is it, Spencer, you said?
Spencer, yeah.
Awesome,
yeah,
man.
He's he played a show in LA last night. I don't know if anyone follows the hyperpop scene, but his band with his buddy is called Food House.
Oh, right.
And they just played a giant show last night in LA. So I'm going to catch him on the tail end of that. But
awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much for taking the time. Chat.
Oh, and okay, there's one thing I can tell you about the remake.
Okay.
Another one of our kids, Calvin, he's in a band called TCMF, and they are featured on the soundtrack.
Okay, let's go. Nice. That's huge.
Look up TCMF Result, and that song has already been announced, so I'm not going rogue with any info.
Okay. But if you did go rogue, you would totally...
If I did go rogue, I would say that there are more to come, that people will be expecting optimistically.
Cool.
More songs, I mean.
That's huge. Big if huge.
And I know you caught that there are some maps that we haven't seen before.
Yeah.
They count on you for that.
Okay. Thanks. Yeah, I'm just doing my part, doing what I can. Tony, I appreciate the time. We'll have to do this again maybe sometime soon. Maybe when the game comes out, we can go head to head, maybe.
Oh yeah, that would be really fun for me.
Yeah, it's like the Space Jam scene where you walk up against like the...
Yeah, let's play tag where it's all your color.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. I think we should do it. Anyway, Either way, yeah, be in touch, man. Congrats on everything. I'm looking forward to the release, and I'm looking forward to
Thanks.
playing and just vibing out to another Tony game.
And yes, I've been glancing at the chat. Thanks to everyone. Thank you for all your kind words. Thanks for supporting our series, THPS. It's beyond any dream I ever could have imagined. Being able to, being the name behind it, but also being able to just be doing this for so long. I mean, it's wild that I get to ride my skateboard for a living still. I'm 56. But it's thanks to you guys, and it's thanks to the success of the game, and it's thanks to people like Andy for playing it so well and making you showing you what's possible. Thanks, and we'll see you out there. And do a kickflip.
Nice.
Left square.
There you go.
See what I did there?
Nice. All right, Tony. Thanks, man.
Okay. See you, Andy. Thanks.
Take care. Dude. That guy sounded like Tony Hawk. Yeah, shout out to Tony. I messaged him literally like a cold message 4 weeks ago and was like, "Hey, dude, I just got approved to like do this front page stream. Like, there's gonna be a lot of people. Like, do you want to come on and just hang out and chat? You could do like 5 to 10 minutes or whatever, or however long you want." He's like, "Yeah, I could do it for like an hour." And then literally like the next week, they announce FIPS 3 and 4. And it was just like all this stuff started happening, and then there was a lot of red tape and stuff going on behind the scenes, and I wasn't sure if he was gonna be able to make it, so I never wanted to announce that it was gonna be him. And like, I'm glad he was able to. He literally offered an hour of his time, but then last minute he said, "Oh, I can only do 30 minutes because I've got stuff going on." But so glad he was able to make it and just literally responded to my DMs and for being a good dude. And yeah, shout out to Tony Hawk. Pretty crazy, right? I really didn't want to do this goal while he was signing off. But anyway. Yeah, I looked at the clock and it's like we went over 30 minutes, and it's like I have all these questions that I went off script obviously, so I was kind of jumping around, but I got most of the goods I asked. I wanted to ask what his initial impression was with me, like, because I imagine he heard about me, and a friend that worked at Neversoft was like, "Yeah, Tony was here today and he like spoke about you." And I wanted to ask, like, I didn't want to make it all about me, but it's like I'm interviewing him, and it's like kind of a unique ingredient between us that would have been fun to explore a little more. But anyway, how was that? 1 through 10. Do you enjoy that? Was that fun? Should we do more stuff like that? Should we just keep asking Tony to come back? Cinema. I'm having trouble concentrating right now. Gary, thank you for the gift sub.
Oh, Andy's on this. Oh, Andy THS.
Yeah, I had like a list of questions to ask him, but then I also had like meme questions that I could have asked him. But that was only like if I was like really hurting for like, can you confirm if you're in the game? Have you ever done a lip trick on purpose? If you could have a character in Fortnite or Smash Brothers, which would you pick? Have you ever attempted a sol flip and it ruined your entire run? Have you ever accidentally spray tagged a wall when you tried to wall write it? But I don't think he would have understood those. Anyway. Another time. These are the real questions. What's the next goal?
Why don't you put yourself to some...
I clipped him saying a cuss if you want to make this alert. I noticed that was like right away. But it's, yeah, it is.
His name is Adam, and he is the ultimate Tony Hawk gamer. Underground.
Crazy, huh? Yeah, and it's wild how, like, obviously the game and skateboarding is his life, and it changed his entire life, and he's living it, right? And something else that, like, I think doesn't get said enough. Like, I remember posting a picture of him and me, like, in 2014 when Neversoft was closing. It was me, him, and Scott Pease. And I said thanks to these two for, or I said, like, I owe these to my entire career. Like, just this game and Tony, like, changed the course of my life too. I mean, I played it because it was so fun, and that's why I still play it. I mean, obviously there's an element of like view counts and like, so, like, you know, supporting the subbers, like giving people content and like all that. But like, I wouldn't do it if it wasn't fun. And that's the attitude I've always had. And because of Tony, because of the success of the game, and because of how fun it is, it's provided me a career and something to remain dedicated to as a career and as something for fun. So I still owe him that, and he may not even realize that, like, at all, or think about it if he does realize it. So. What are these other things? Jed signs. My mind is so scatterbrained right now. I'm having trouble coming back to life. More guests. What? Did an awesome job interviewing. Thanks. We did not speak about BAM. We actually, I didn't really, personally, I didn't want to touch the topic of THIPS 3 and 4 because the news that we will learn will come out through appropriate press releases and embargo dates. And the last thing that we need is, and like, it's such an unattractive quality when it's just like, an interviewer is just trying to get the scoop on something, and like, it just feels kind of sleazy. I didn't want to even go down that route at all. Why was Joy on it? Because of the emoji. Interview was probably 35 minutes. Oh, the call says 40 minutes, but it might have rounded up. Whoops. But yeah, he's a real one. I remember I was like, I was out and talking to someone who doesn't really know that I stream. They just know that I'm into video games. I was like, yeah, I'm really nervous. I have like this big stream on Sunday. I'm going to be front page. And then I have an interview with Tony Hawk. He's like, whoa, how'd you score that? I was like, I just messaged him. And he responded. He was like, dude, that's sick.
All right, let's go.
I was like, yeah, it is. I hope he's able to make it. That'd be rad. But yeah, shout out to Tony for literally just responding and making time. Also, this is not an invitation to just message Tony Hawk and like ask him to be on your podcast or stream or whatever, but Oh, what's up, Deviant? I see you. Too late. Hey, Tony, want to grab a cold one? I mean, the other thing is, like, I think he won't see your, or anyone won't see your messages unless you you both follow each other, right? Or else you get like kind of filtered out, right? So want to play games? My mom made sandwiches. He'd probably respond to that. Bagel bites coming out hot. Oh, thanks for the hype train. I've just been completely just spaced on everything. I'm just trying to get through this.